welcome back to my channel if you have been here before, and welcome if you have not. Sit back, relax, grab your beverage of choice, and let's talk about stitching. I would like to talk about 3 things before I show my whips. I also would like to do a tag, a cross stitch tag by subpar stitches for those that are new. And so let's start talking about stitching. I'm going to be looking down at my notes. I hope that's going to be okay. Hope it's not going to be too distracting. I'll probably be leaning over to get some of my finishes and some of my whips, and hopefully this video won't be too long. But it's been 7 months and I've missed it greatly. So let's get to talking. The first 3 things I would like to talk about is I would like to introduce myself. I said I was Bonnie and I'm the Nerdy Magpie. How I got that name, we'll talk about in a minute. I'm a wife of 33 years, going to be 34 in May. I'm a mother to 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. My 3 sons live in Texas and my daughter lives here in town. I have 2 daughter-in-laws and a son-in-law. I have 3 granddaughters. So I'm very blessed. I also am coming to you from the beautiful Sequatchie Valley in East Tennessee. We have moved here and it has some beautiful views. I'm hoping that you'll enjoy the intro before we get to talking. It shows some of the right down the road from me and the mountains, and we are in the Cumberland Plateau. So the purpose of this channel is it's a remembrance for my family. So when I'm gone, my children might be able to come across it and see me and see what I liked. My grandchildren, we won't get into all of it, but I'm not able to see my grandchildren, my sons either. My daughter is very much a blessing to me, and my son-in-law, and we get together with them quite frequently, but they don't have any children yet, so I am so this is just a remembrance of what I liked, and it's also going to be a channel about sharing my joy of stitching. I have loved stitching probably my whole life, and so that's that one. And then it's also what the benefits of stitching for me is for my mental health. I think May is going to be talking, I think May isn't it like mental health month or something like that? Well, stitching, any kind of things I can do with my hands help me mentally. And so also it helps me relax. Tend to be a very anxious person. And so it just calms my mind, and I love to see you can take a blank canvas and make a beautiful project for your walls or for stand-ups, things like that. Also, it's a job to me. I try to look at, now that I don't have any children at home, I look at it like it's my job, and not a job in a bad way, but just a job to keep me busy. And so I also am trying to start a new way of stitching for 2025. I'm trying to do no buy 2025, or I guess it's called no buy 25. I've done pretty well. I've not been perfect at it, but I definitely cut down quite a bit. Also, this is the year that I have decided to focus on my oldest whips and get them out of the way. So next year I can start some new stuff that I've been wanting to start. And so we'll talk about that more in a little bit. So let's go on to subpar stitches tag. I'll be reading them off, and so you'll be seeing me look down, hopefully just to read it, and then I will look up and we can talk about this. Question number 1, how did you choose your Flosstube name? Well, yesterday I had my Mario Kart shirt on, and so I'm a nerd at heart. I love board games, puzzles, any kind of Switch games. I love Nintendo games of any sort. Zelda is my absolute favorite, if you know who Zelda is. I love my PS5. I like adventure games on my PS5. I like mystery games on my PS5. I love true crime. I'm just a nerd at heart. And Magpie is what we used to call my daughter, and we still call her. Her name is Maggie. She is not Margaret, it's Maggie, and Maggie Elizabeth, and we have always called her Magpie. So she's really precious to me, and so I thought I would make this part of that. And magpies like shiny new things, and I do too. So that's why I called it the Magpie. How did you get into stitching? Well, my sister and I were about 14, 15, and back then we didn't have TV. My mom and dad didn't allow TV in the house, and so they were at work and we were bored after we got our chores done, so we would walk over to Woolworths, to the mall. That's when it was safe to do so, and we would go in there and find the little cross-stitching kits, and that's how we started. I had embroidered some things before that, pillowcases and things. My mother has always embroidered things, and my great-grandmother did all kinds of crochet and embroidery and tatting, and you name it, she did it. So it has always interested me. So that's how I got into stitching. What is the first thing you ever stitched? I probably, like I said, it was the little kits that you would get at Woolworths, if you know what Woolworths are. It's kind of like a Benjamin Franklin, if you know what that is. Woolworths isn't around anymore. But anyways, I think the first thing I ever did was a Susie Zoo ornament, and I still have it. Every year we put it up on the tree. Susie Zoo was quite popular in the 80s, and it was a little duck. She's really cute, and they had a turtle and a bear and all kinds of different little pals that she had, a goose, and I don't know. I stitched quite a bit of them. I don't have them anymore, but I do still have that ornament. What I will always stitch, that's a hard one for me. I will always stitch things that I am interested in, that I find joy in, things I could picture up on my wall or in a dough bowl around my house, things for other people. I'm a gift stitcher. I love to give people stitching things that I've stitched. So I will always stitch that kind of thing, I think. I will never stitch a full coverage. I do not like full coverage. I have done full coverage. A lot of patterns back in the 80s and 90s were full coverage. So I have done it. I don't enjoy it. Now, if the cross stitch pattern, and I'll show you one of my oldest whips that I finished this year, has like some full coverage, I will do that, and that's fine. But to do a whole big piece, no, I will never do that. My favorite fabric count is between 18 and 22. Ada, I'm an Ada stitcher for sure. Some people say Aida, but I've always heard it called Ada. And so I really like that. And also I have just, I don't know, in the last year or two picked up even weave, and I really like even weave. I think I like that most out of anything is even weave. It just makes everything look so neat. I do not like linen. I have plenty of it. I've tried it. I do not like it. I don't like how the stitches lay. I just don't care for it. I've tried different pieces of linen, some expensive, some not so expensive, and I just don't care for it. Maybe one day I will, but for right now I don't. My oldest whip. Well, I finished my oldest whip this year, so I don't really have an oldest whip, but I do have 6 stitches that I am I put on a wheel and I'm trying to work on this year, trying to get a finish on all of them. They're the oldest whips I have, mostly from 2023, with the least amount of stitching. So I'm hoping to get all those out of the way. How many whips do you have? I would say I have between 16 and 18. That's a lot for some people and not a lot for other people. I don't work on all of them. Like I said, I am trying to work on the 6 that are closest to a finish this year. And I'm trying to give them 2 months out of the year. And I've been doing pretty good finishing things. So, a project you're dying to start. Oh, I would love to start the animal crackers and the prairie schooler months of the year. I also really like the cricket collection months of the year and seasons. I also picked up the other day, thanks to a Flosstube I was watching, and it is, I think, Twin Peak Primitives seasons. I could be wrong, but they're another seasonal stitch. Like I need another seasonal stitch, but they are so cute. And so we're in a pretty big house, so I have plenty of room to put things places. So I think I'll do all right with that. Also, speaking of Twin Peak Primitives, they have half off their whole store until April 20th. And so I had some series that I had half stitched that I needed to finish getting. So I went ahead and bought those. So, anyways, remember, listen and don't judge. I love that tag. Listen and don't judge. I'm supposed to be by no 25, and so listen and don't judge. Let's see, our project you love but just won't start. Okay, I have 2, and one is it's called Gamer Nouveau, and I seen that Patty Stitches was doing that one, and I absolutely loved it. And my daughter bought it for me, but it is so big, and I don't see it being finished in my lifetime. Although I absolutely love it, so right now I won't start that one. And the other one is by Heaven and Earth Design. I bought one called Kitschy Kitchen. It has all the elements from the 40s, 50s that you would have seen in your great-grandmother's house or your great-great-grandmother's house or even your grandmother's house. I love that kind of thing. I might stitch some elements out of that one, but I will not be doing the whole thing. Full coverage or blank space? I think I've already answered this one. Definitely blank space. If it has some full coverage on it, that's okay, but definitely blank space. How often do you stitch? I stitch 3 times a day. I have a morning stitch, an afternoon stitch, and a before dinner stitch. I try to get between 100 and however many stitches. I also a lot of times will like set a goal to finish something in the project. Like my morning stitch right now, I'm doing February. I'm doing Hands-On Designs Year of Celebration, and I've done almost all of them. I have 4 left after February, but like a goal of mine was to finish the heart for the morning, and I finished that. And so I try to either get stitches in, or I try to finish up an element in the whip I'm on. Do you have a unicorn pattern? Yes, I do. I have. Okay, so I would love to have Janet, I think it's Janet Kirby's house number 6 and 7, the Halloween house where the little kids are going trick-or-treating. I would love to have that one. And the other Halloween house of hers. I don't know if it's number 6 and 7, but so that is the unicorn pattern for me. And the other one is Victoria Sampler's farms. I absolutely love those farms, and I would love to get those. I know that she has them on her site, but I'm trying to be good this year. Remember, listen and don't judge. If I get it, listen and don't judge. The other thing is, I would love to have, I have a nativity patterns by Mosey and Me, and I'm missing 2 of them, and I didn't realize it. And one was the angel, and the other one, I can't remember what it was, but I am missing those 2, and I cannot find them anywhere, but I have all the others. So the last question is paper or PDF pattern. I am definitely a PDF pattern. Ever since Markup RXP came about, I love it, and I won't do anything but PDFs. And the great thing about Markup RXP is that you can scan in. I have a lot of older charts. I can scan them in, and they look wonderful on there. I might have to adjust some things, but all in all, it really works out for me. And I have arthritis and fibromyalgia, so it's very hard for me to hold a paper pattern or anything like that. So I have a cross stitch stand that has, holds my hoop for me. I stitch and hoop, and then I also use the Nerge hoops, or the square ones. I like those. And then the other, I have a magnifier on there, and I also have to wear my prescription reading glasses. So definitely a PDF pattern. It's easier for me because my stand also has a stand or a holder for my iPad. So I just have to look to the pattern, and then I can stitch. So that's much better for me. So that is the tag from the Subcar Stitcher. Let's go ahead and show my whips that I'm working on, my morning whips. I'm going to bend down here and pick them up. I went through and washed all of my, I went through and washed all of my project bags. So most of these project bags I made myself. So this one's from Paris, France. I used to sew American Girl doll clothes when my daughter was into American Girl dolls, and I also did it as a way of therapy from taking care of my father-in-law and my mother-in-law till they passed away. And so this fabric's pretty old, but I made a little dress out of this. It was so cute. So anyways, so this is my year of celebration, February. And I hope you can see it. Put my hand behind it. And this right here is supposed to be pink in there. And I just decided to leave it white. And then I changed the color of the letter love to a light purple. And I did pink. And here it was supposed to be white, which would not have shown up. And then this motif I did just like it was. And this motif is a standalone, but it should be going they have another one that's going to go all the way around here, but I am not going to do that. I am going to put in the word February like it's supposed to, and then right here I'm just going to make a little like corner of this here. So it'll be going up and down like that, and then I'll be finished. So that's my morning stitch. And then my afternoon. So after I do a morning stitch, I go and do whatever I need to do or want to do. I go outside and walk or take a walk or go look at my chickens, or I try to get out a little bit, and then I go see what my husband's doing because we're redoing this house. Uh, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So then I come back after lunch and I do an afternoon stitch, and this is one of my oldest whips. I started it in, well, I don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure it was 2023. And it's Owls of Spring by the Soda Stitcher. And as you can see, I have tried different methods of holding my fabric down. I've tried making the hoop things that go around here that hold the fabric. I tried doing that. That would cover up my stuff. I tried pins. They were poking holes all in my thing. I tried the clips. I tried the bread ties. I tried just about everything you imagine. Magnets, everything like that. The magnets were leaving marks on my pattern. So I decided, somebody said that they tacked down their fabric. And so that's what I've been doing, because all I have to do is unsnip it and then move to the next. And it doesn't leave a mark or anything. So anyways, so I'm finishing him up. He's got his feet here and his wings are going to be right here. And then let me show you a picture. This is a better picture here. Here's a card. I always put these cards in there. So anyways, he's supposed to have a tree. There's supposed to be a tree here. I think I'm just going to finish this right here, him, and do the little bit of a tree right here. My tastes have changed, and so I'm not, it's cute, but I don't feel like stitching all of this. So that's just what I'm going to do, and it's going to be a page finish. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Also, I've been putting library, I got these off of Amazon. They're library card things, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm supposed to put how many stitches, every day that I stitch on here. And then on the back, I put the colors that I use, because I convert a lot of colors. So, and then when I frame it or whatever I was going to do with it, I would put this on the back or put it inside the frame or whatever. So that is Owls of Spring. That was the one that was called for this month, and I'm pretty sure I will have a finish because I don't have a whole lot left on him. And then after I'm done stitching that, I usually play a game on my iPad or do a puzzle, or I've been doing those books that you do the little dioramas in there. I've been doing those, and so I'll do something like that. I'll sew a bag or make a folder, sew, cut out fabric. I'll do something, organize my patterns, something. And then after that, after a little bit after that, this is my evening stitch. I try to get this done before we eat at night so I can spend the rest of the evening with my husband. It is the Let Freedom Ring cell that what's her name? The Crow River Stitcher started. So here it is. I know most people have seen it. I did all of the border. And then I'm telling you, this right here, you have to pay attention to, or you are going to make a big mistake. And I've had to tear out several times. I've had a frog several times, and I have wanted to throw this across the room. So anyways, I'm right here now, and I have done the trees here. Well, let's see, I'm right here. Yeah, I'm right here. And then I've done the trees, and I've done some of this and some of the portico right here. And so I decided to finish this page and have it meet up with this page. And then I think I'm going to do a page by page. I thought of doing the whole building because that is very daunting, but I decided this was the way I was going to go. So I'm almost finished with this page, and then I can move it on. And then all I'll have to do is the rest of the building and the people. I average about 250 stitches a night, or, in the evening. It's a really nice stitch. I've changed a lot of things. I've changed the colors up to this. I didn't particularly like the colors that she had, and that's okay because this is going to be hanging up in my house and I'm making it my own. So this is it. And of course, I have all this finished down here and across here. So, but like I said, I tacked this down. I made the gray catbird. Um, you can find these in Pennsylvania where Independence Hall is. So I thought she did a brown bird, but I thought this was pretty. So I did this is a male gray catbird, and I'm going to do a female on the other side. The daffodil here, I did orange. I went and looked at some daffodils online, and I seen that some of them had orange, and so I decided to do orange there. And then I put gray in here in this flower. And let's see here. I put a little bit of red right here, if you can see it. I'm supposed to have white, and I did red. So yeah, I'm making it my own, like I said. And I changed the colors of the brick. For the Freedom Hall, I'm going to be doing a different flag than the one she's calling for. I went and found one from 17, Independence Hall is going to be 1776. So I went and found a flag that was from 1776. So I'm going to stitch that right there. And also they put like north elevation, on the, here, I'll show you. On the, right here, they put north elevation and different things, different words here. I'm not doing that. I'm going to be putting the people in my family, the men, and I don't think there's been any women. Maybe there is, I don't know. But I'm just going to put the men I know that served our country. I'm going to put their initials here because this is going to be hanging up on our living room, and it's going to be, we're very patriotic in our family. We go all the way back to the Revolutionary War, and somebody in every generation has served this country. So we're very proud of our country. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And that's my evening stitch. So let's go on to, I'm going to pause you for a minute. And I am going to get my finishes that I've gotten done this year. And I'm going to take a drink out of my coffee because I'm really thirsty. And then I will be back. And I am going to show you what I did in December. I usually take off November and December, and I reorganize my patterns. I go through my whips, and I go through and decide what I might not want to stitch anymore, what's going to be put away for a while, what is closest to a finish, get my flosses organized, see if I'm missing any flosses. So I take from Thanksgiving till the first week in January to do all that. So this was one that I had finished in December. And like I said, I was doing the year of, I'm doing hands-on design year of celebration. I think we'll call it volume 1 because there's volume 2. But here's December. I did change. I did not do this border all the way around. This is what I'm going to be doing on the one I just showed you, just a corner border there. And then I changed the colors to what I found I liked better. So I changed the elf colors and the elf feet and the Mary and different things like that. So this is full, I consider this full coverage, and I just do not enjoy this at all, but it got done. So there's December. I realized that I have a lot of Christmas whips. I do not have very many spring or Easter whips. I don't have very many um, St. Patrick's Day whips, and so there. And I don't have a lot of summer whips. So I had quite a few Halloween and of Christmas. So I decided to do some. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Uh, I decided to do some St. Patrick's Day stitching. So this one is by Helen D. I've not finished it yet. I think I changed color in here. I think these are all like green and brown, and I went with different colors. So I've got to finish that. One thing about me is I don't fully finish things I really need to. I'm going to start working on doing that. I have a whole box back here of finishing items, and I just need to buckle down. I know how to sew and all that, so there's no excuse for me not to finish these things. My problem is, before I show you this next one, my problem is I'm not very creative. I can I can follow instructions. I can, but to look at something and go to a store like Hobby Lobby and see a frame and say, "Oh, that'll work for that, and that'll work for that." That's not my forte. That's why I don't finish a lot of things because I have no idea what to do with them. So I wish I was one that could do that. My youngest sister can do that and looks wonderful. But that is not, I'm not an artist at all. So I think you have to have a knack for that. But here's January, and I just finished this at the 1st of February. I'm not trying to finish these in the month. I'm just trying to finish them so I can move on to something else. But this I did up here, and I changed the colors here, and then I changed some of the colors here. Only did a corner thing there. He was supposed to have earmuffs on, but they looked like two big eyes. And look, I just didn't care for it, so I made it my own. So there he is. Here's another St. Patrick's Day one. I went online and found some freebies from different designers, and this one says "Kiss Me." Downstairs finished. My husband's got to paint the walls and everything. I have a sofa table I'm going to put against the wall, and I'm going to put a dough bowl. I have a dough bowl that I found at the secondhand store, and it's really old, but I love it. And I'm going to put these, I think I'm going to make these into little pillows. And then this one I found, it did have something else. Something else was written on here, and I put St. Patty's instead. Little sheep. I think I changed some of the colors. Probably did. This is just a piece that I got at Crazy Woman Stitch Retreat. It was just a sample piece of, pre-printed fabric, but I thought it looked cute on there. So there's that one. Okay, here's another one that I finished. I love these. I want to do all of them. I have all of them except for, and that is the Tiny Town. I have all of them except for the Nativity one that just came out in Nashville. And I would like to get, I think Pam and Steph called it the auxiliary, the wise men, the three wise men. I want to get that one too. Listen and don't judge. But here's this tiny town, Christmas tiny town. And I loved it. And I'll put more tiny towns on here. This is a pretty big piece of fabric, so I'll put more on there. My daughter dyed this fabric. She does a lot of my fabric. She dyes a lot of it, so I'm blessed for her to do that for me. Now this one isn't on a huge piece, even though it's tiny, but these are the Winter Small Pillows by Lizzie Kate. And I have 3 more to do. So here's winter. Ones that were my oldest whips. So there was no excuse for me to have them sitting around for this long. But this next one that I'm going to show you, I shouldn't say I got, I know better than that. I picked up at the Crazy Woman Stitch Retreat off the freebie table. I think it came from an estate sale, somebody said. It was the lady's, she had done most of it. And I finished all the back stitching, all the medallions. It's supposed to at the top have like, like an Indian belt. And at the bottom, I did not put that in there. But I just love it. I think it's by Jan Hicks. I'm pretty sure. Paper was pretty worn. So I had to do a lot of scotch taping and everything like that. But here it is. And I'm going to have it framed and put it up at Thanksgiving. Because I absolutely love it. It's called Native Fashion. And if you looked at the picture, it did not do it justice at all. It looked, that's why you don't judge by a picture. I just love these colors in here. It looks like it's beaded. There's no beads on it. But I just love, love, love the colors. She had done a lot of work on it, but I finished it up. So that back stitch was no joke. Okay, this is my oldest whip. I changed all the colors to purples. I did not put the ribbon in her hand, and I did not stitch the bunny rabbit. I just felt like it really didn't need it. And so this is by Lavender and Lace, Enchanted Alphabet. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully you can hear me. I restarted this 6 times. This was a doozy. You really had to pay attention. You couldn't take a color and just follow it around because you would mess it up big time. So, yeah. So here it is. And I'm going to be hanging this up in my bedroom. I think I'm going to do our bedroom in a really, really light purple. To almost where it's white. And I think this is going to be so gorgeous hung up in our bedroom. So there it is. Oldest whip. My absolutely oldest whip. So I got that finished. And I was so excited to get it done. Let me put it away. I don't want it to get wrinkled. It looks wrinkled already, but I don't want it to get more wrinkled. So those are my finishes for 2025. So I've been working very hard, and I'm so proud of the accomplishments I've been getting. So, like I said, I've got 6 whips that I am going to be stitching on this year to get a finish, and I've got quite a bit finishes. I was at the beginning of the year, I was doing it to where I was working monogamously until it was finished. Then I'd move on to the next one. That was fine, but it got a little boring. So I decided to bring out 6 of my closest whips and then spin. When I'm done with one, I spin for the next one. And so that's what I'm going to be doing there. So that's plans. I plan on finishing in February and starting on March, which is for the year of celebration, the little ones. I think what I'm going to do with those, I seen on Trend Peaks Primitive, they had done this. Like a Rolodex where I think I'm going to finish them like that and then put them on like a Rolodex and, every month switch it around, if that makes sense. Move it to the next month. That's what I think I'm going to do with those. That's how I'm going to finish those. So, hoping to finish Let Freedom Ring by next July. I'm on track to finishing it for is it the 200th anniversary? I think. I'm pretty sure. So I'm really hoping to get that finished. I would like to start some of the animal crackers. I do have them kitted up. My husband bought me a lot of them for Christmas. I absolutely love them, and I've been picking up some here and there. Listen and don't judge. um, and so I'm really enjoying that. I just think they're just adorable, and so I would like to get all of them. Uh, th- let's see here. Okay, so let's go on to where I'm going to be. Where have I been? Let's go there first. I want to explain where I've been just for a minute or two. I'm done with all I was going to do like a mini whip parade, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk instead of where I have been for the last 7 months. And I'm going to be utterly transparent. Back in July of last year, we were in our house for 25 years. We were almost finished paying it. And we were with a mortgage company that wasn't exactly a mortgage company. It was they sell it to these people, sell your mortgage, different to different people. And it was more like a collection agency. Well, they turned out to be fraudulent. And we get a knock on the door one day, and a guy was at the door, and he said, "Oh, I thought nobody lived here." We were like, "No, we've lived here for 25 years." And he was like, "Well, I just bought your house. It was at auction." Had no idea our house was at auction. Oh, that was just devastating. I just thought, I just couldn't breathe. I was so upset. And we went before the judge and everything, and they could not do anything because in the state of Tennessee, once the gavel falls, it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. So it ended up going to there in the government in Tennessee, and we ended up getting some money back, um, but not near what should have happened. And also, it's very hard to lose something where your kids, my boys were 4, 5, 4, and newborn when we moved into the house. And my daughter was born there. So many memories. And, you think this is your forever home, and it's not. It's just devastating. So, my son in law and my daughter were very gracious to invite us because we had 3 weeks to vacate our house. Oh, that was hard. So in August, we moved here to my son in law's house. And he opened up his basement to us. It's fully finished basement. We have quite a few dogs, and we raise Sphinx cats. We used to raise toy poodles, so we brought all those with us. We ended up fencing in the backyard, and I had 15 birds that I had rescued. I had to find homes for all of them but 3. That just broke my heart. Um, it's just been really hard. I went through a really rough season. After we moved in, about a month later, my son-in-law was working in Chattanooga as a nurse practitioner. My daughter is a EMT, and it was really hard for them to go back and forth from here to Chattanooga. It's about an hour drive almost. And with Chattanooga traffic, they weren't getting home till late at night, and he had to do his charts and different things. So they decided to move to Chattanooga and left us with the house. So we're in the process of buying this house now, and It's in wonderful shape, but we'd like to make it our own. So my husband's been tearing out some walls, and we picked our own paint, and we picked out the flooring we want. And so we're in the midst of doing all that, and we're still in the basement, and not complaining, because it's nice and it's small, it's easy to clean. But that is what I've been going through. I went through a lot of, I would say, depression and anxiety, but the Lord has been good. I am a Christian, and so you'll hear me talk about the Lord somewhat. This is not a channel about political views or religion or anything like that, but I will give the Lord credit where credit is due. And so the Lord has been good to us. This was my son-in-law's office. It's not going to be my craft room. I think my craft room is going to be downstairs. I'm going to make the whole basement into my craft room. I have a really nice cedar-lined closet down there. Well, it's really a room. And that's where I'm going to put all my charts and everything like that. And then I've got a full bathroom, and the bedroom we're staying in, I'll probably make it my craft where I sew and do different things. And we'll keep the living room into a den when we, or where people can stay if they. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, so we have a much bigger house than we had before. Plus, it's sitting on 2 acres, so I've always wanted to live out in the country. So I have chickens, and we just put out some baby chicks yesterday, and they're called Delawares, and they finally were feathered enough to go outside. Spring has sprung here in the south, and the pollen is wonderful. Really, my allergies really get to me. So yeah, we're making. So this would probably be. I'm not sure, but I have a lot of puzzles and board games. We love to do that. So I'm thinking making this into a puzzle board game room. The room next to me, I think I'm going to make into when my grandchildren come. We're going to be having our great niece come and stay with us for a week. She's 7. We're going to have her stay this summer with us for a week. And so I'd really like to get that room done and put some toys and different things in there that I have packed up. And if my grandchildren are ever able to come and see me again, their room will be ready. All their toys will be ready. And so that's where I've been. It's just been a lot, trying to get a lot done, trying to move things around. It's just been a whole lot. So I'm not sure the next time that I'm going to record. I'm hoping to record every 2 weeks. I want to come and do this before I leave. I am going to stay with my niece. She has had a lot of health issues since the 1st of January. She got COVID, and then when she was in the hospital with COVID, she had sepsis. They got that. They thought under control. She was hurting for a whole month. She couldn't hardly walk or anything like that. And she went to several different emergency rooms. They didn't believe her. Finally, they just said she probably twisted her back. Finally, she went to one, and they decided to do blood work and do an MRI of her back, and they found out she had sepsis in a bone in her back. So they had to do back surgery, and she's having to relearn to do everything. She has been in a rehab hospital for about 2 months now, and Friday she is going to be coming home, and I am going to be her caregiver on the weekends. My sister is going to be there with her and I during the week, but my sister's a nurse and she has to work on the weekends, so I'm the best candidate to help her out, I guess. I don't mind. I took care of my father-in-law and mother-in-law, like I said, till they passed away, so I'm pretty used to it. And So yeah, I'm hoping to have time to film. I'm hoping to have time to cross stitch. Uh, she doesn't require a whole lot. We will be doing therapy and different things like that. So, you know, hopefully I'll be able to come back on, and even if it's for a couple of minutes just to show maybe something I've done. She's needing to do recreational therapy to get her hands working, and so I'm going to be bringing some Legos. I love my Legos, and I'm going to be bringing her some. She wants to learn how to crochet, so I do that, and I'm going to be bringing some knitting. And I don't know if you know what a rainbow loom is, but I'm going to be bringing that and having her work with uh, different rubber bands and stuff. And my daughter had what they call dysgraphia, which is a weakness in the hands and feet, and I had to bring her to occupational therapy. So I learned a lot of different ways to, um, well, more or less recreational therapy. So I did homeschool my kids for 26 years, so I was a very involved parent. And so, anyways, hoping to get a lot done with her on that kind of thing. She really wants to do one of those books that have the dioramas in it, so we'll be working on that. And she loves to draw and color, so I have a lot of, I'm pretty picky about my markers and things like that, about what kind I get. So I'm bringing her some crossword puzzles and some, color books for adults, and um, just going to be doing stuff like that with her. I need to start packing because we're supposed to leave Monday because my sister and I have to go to training to learn what she needs to get done. Before I leave, I'd like to talk about some floss tubers that I have been watching. The first one is Katie, Jeremiah's mom. She is so much fun. I just love to watch her. Her stitching is a lot like my stitching. She has quite a eclectic taste, and her son is it's so wonderful to watch him and her together. So I've really enjoyed watching them. The next one is the half stitch cross stitch. I think that's her name. Her name is Dina. She's from Georgia, and I think she's had her floss tube now for 9 years, but she is just really fun to watch. I love to see her pattern. She does like a weekly vlog, so every day she records, but then she does one whole vlog, and I find that very enjoyable. The other one I really enjoy is Corey Creates. When I was in home ec, I'm not sure what they call it now. I wish I had had her as a teacher. She is very precise about what she does. She's very explains it very well. I enjoy that she includes her children showing her quilts. Um, I just really enjoy what she stitches, and she's just a lot of fun to watch. She doesn't do a whole lot of videos because, like I said, she's a teacher, so she does it when she can. And then there's Patty Stitches. She used to be the Alaskan Stitcher. I think hers have been up for about 9 years. If you like short videos, she's the one to watch. She introduces herself, says real quick about what she's done for the week, shows you her whips, and she's off. And most of hers are like 20 minutes at the most. So I really enjoy watching her if I want to watch a quick, a quick floss tube. The other one I really enjoy is called She Bees Stitches. Stitchy World. Sorry, She Bees Stitchy World. She is such an inspiration to me. I have a lot of medical problems, and so does she. But if she can do it, I can do it. If you love Halloween, she is the girl for you, the gal for you, because she loves Halloween. She stitches mostly Halloween, and it's fun to watch what she's picked, and she's very creative about her finishes and everything like that. So I really enjoy her a lot. And Then the last one is Stitching Down the Rabbit Hole. I met her and talked with her one time when we were doing a Zoom for the Let Freedom Ring sale. Her humor is just like my grandmother's, my dad's mom. Is very dry, but she makes me laugh because I understand her wit. My dad has that same dry sense of humor, and I just find it funny. So if you enjoy, she stitches all kinds of things, and she doesn't care what you think. If you don't like it, oh well. Sometimes she has stitching, sometimes she doesn't. But anyways, I really like how she revamps things and does things her own way. So there's my ones for the floss tubers I like to watch. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and comment. I will try to reply to your comments. I enjoy talking to other people living out in the country and in a new town. There isn't anybody I can really talk to. I have a best friend from 3rd grade that lives in Wyoming, and I do talk to her once in a great while. I try to anyways, but she's busy too. She has her own life. And so, and there's no stitchy groups around me. There's no stitchy classes around me. I tried to do one, a cross stitch class at the library. Nobody showed up. So obviously they didn't like it. But so if you would like to talk with me, or you know any Zoom groups that you can tell me about that I can subscribe to, I would really enjoy that. It gets lonely. I love my husband very, very much, but it just gets lonely sometimes. So, like I said, if you really like this video, and I hope you do, I would appreciate you subscribing and liking and commenting on this video. Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful Easter tomorrow. I hope this video works out. And thank you for suffering along with me. And remember, listen and don't judge. Bye.